Okay. But you don't remember whether you told them that you blacked out before the accident or at the time of the accident?
Things were a little chaotic. I don't know what exactly I told them. Okay, I'm not sitting here. I cannot go back that long. You know, I don't think you realize I take care of 2 elderly people.
I think we've been over that.
Yeah.
I think we have. We've been over that.
Their health is real important to me right now, and I spend a lot of time taking care of their medical needs and going to the hospital with them.
Okay, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What I'm getting at, though, is your health at the time of this accident.
Right.
You don't remember what you told the EMTs?
I told them I was driving, I wasn't going very fast, I was listening to classical music, I was extremely relaxed, and the next thing I know, I've blacked out and I've been in a car accident. And I didn't remember anything that happened. I don't even remember hitting her. I didn't see anything coming. Nothing.
We've talked about who your OBGYN is, who your cardiologist is, who your general internist is.
Right.
Do you see any other doctors for any type of medical problems?
Or do you mean other than all the ones she's talked about?
Yeah, I mean, are there any
Or
other?
just those 3 that you just talked about, that you just mentioned?
I'm talking about her medical conditions. Does she have any other medical conditions at the time of the accident that she was being treated for? Or that she was seeing a doctor for?
Well, I mean, I was on some anti-anxiety medicine
Okay.
at the time.
And was that at the time of the accident?
Yes, it was.
Okay. What type of medication is it?
Lexapro. It was for the stress level from taking care of 2 elderly sick people.
And who prescribed that to you?
Dr. Porter.
And do you know what the dosage, the amounts were?
It was a very low dosage. I don't remember the exact amount.
And when were you diagnosed with anxiety?
I don't know exactly when.
It was prior to the accident?
I was under anxiety before the accident.
Right, that's what I asked.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so you were taking, I guess, this anti-anxiety drug prior to the accident?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you were taking it at the time of the accident on that day?
I took it every day.
Okay. When did you take your medication? In the morning?
I take my medications late at night before I go to bed.
Now you say you take your medications, and I thought that we had been over this. I know you told me about the blood pressure medication. You told me about the gastro
That's
medication. Right. And then you said you didn't know about any others. Now we're talking about an anti-anxiety drug, Lexapro. Yeah. What other medications?
At the time of the accident? No, that was it. Lexapro, Protonics, and Avalide for blood pressure.
Are you taking anything as we sit here today?
I take medications today, yes.
Okay, what are you taking right now?
I take Avalide, I take Protonics, and I take Wellbutrin in place of the other medication.
Okay, in place of what other medication?
Lexapro.
When did you quit taking Lexapro?
This past probably Christmas, January, because it did not seem to be helping.
Okay, and helping with what? Exactly what are your symptoms that you're taking this medication for?
The stress of going to a nursing home every day and dealing with taking care of an 89-year-old and an 87-year-old that have major medical issues. My mother's been in the hospital 8 times in 1 year. I am the only one that takes care of them. I'm their only voice.
Okay.
So I go to pick up all the pieces at the nursing home that the nursing home doesn't deal with.
Okay. I guess, do you assist the nursing home in medication for your mom and aunt?
I just make sure they get it since they are, have been guilty of discontinuing her medicine, of dropping her, of verbally abusing her. Would you like for me to go on? I can continue.
Well, I mean, did you get her out of that facility, or is she still in the same facility?
No, no, they're still in the same facility because I'm trying to find another place to put them.
Okay. What does she have insurance? Is that why she can't get into another facility, or?
She has insurance, but we've just been through all her money. So now they're both on Medicaid.
Okay.
But there's still expenses that go along with 2 elderly people in a nursing home.
I guess, are you saying their insurance is expended? It's all gone?
My mother has Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. But I'm talking about she's not Medicare anymore, she's Medicaid.
Okay. And as far as her medication, everything, is that something the nursing home provides, or you go and?
They provide it.
Okay. And would you make sure that they're giving it to them?
I do.
Okay. Have you filed suit or anything against the nursing home, or filed a complaint with them?
Not at this point. I've talked to the director of nursing and the administrator quite often.
Who's the director of nursing there?
I know her name is Vonda. She's new. They've got a whole new staff in there.
Now, have things gotten better since the new staff is there?
Time will tell. We just had a family council meeting about things last week.
Okay, do you remember the names of the prior directors?
I don't know her name. Her first name was Marcella. I've been there 4 years with my aunt, and I've watched quite a few changes. It was great when we first started there, and it's slowly changed people and slowly gone down.
Were you diagnosed with anxiety, I guess you're saying, as a result of the nursing home, or is having to take care of your family?
That's part of it, yes.
Okay. But you don't know when you were diagnosed?
Not exactly.
You don't know when you started getting this Lexapro?
I was on it for a while, and it just, worked for a while, and then it seemed to stop.
And I guess it stopped, what, Christmas of last year?
Yeah, it just didn't seem to be taking the, stress level away.
Okay. And what is that? How do you know that it's taking the stress level away?
Because I can react to things in a different way.
Okay. I guess when you get anxious, are you, you're nervous?
No, I'm not nervous, but when you have 2 loved ones in a nursing home that aren't being taken care of, it can become a little overwhelming. When you're dealing with incompetent people that don't do a job that they're hired to do.
So, this medication, I guess it helps you relax.
It helps me deal with the stress better.
Okay. And it quit working
The Lexapro, I've been on it for a while, it just didn't help anymore.
Okay.
So they said it's time to change medication.
Did you adjust the dosage? Did they ever do that?
I think we tried, but there's, you know, there's loading doses for adults that are therapeutic, and that's the dose they put you on.
Do you know what that loading dose that is therapeutic? Do you know what that is?
I don't remember.
Okay. Is your mom or your aunt on any narcotics?
No,
Or any Lexapros,
I don't believe so
muscle
anymore.
relaxers? They were at one time?
I think when my mother first went there, they put her on something to try to get her to adjust a little better.
Okay. And what, I guess, was that an anti-anxiety drug?
Yeah, because she fell and broke her hip and her femur and was in Baptist Hospital for 8 weeks.
When did that happen?
A year ago, this past July the 5th.
Okay. And prior to that, had she been on any narcotics or anti-anxiety drugs?
No, she'd been in assisted living for 3 months because she'd been living with us. And then I had to put her in assisted living because I was having knee surgery and I needed a break.
Okay. So your mom was living with you at the time of this accident?
Let's see. I don't know if she was living with us full time. She was staying with us a whole lot.
Okay. Well, if she wasn't with you full time, then where was she?
She would go back and forth to her house some
Okay, and where did she live?
in Mississippi.
And what's her address? Where?
She lived in Batesville.
Okay. What was the address there?
240 Pollard Street.
And was that a home?
It was.
And does she still own it?
She does.
Okay. It's in her name?
No,
Whose name is it?
it's in my name and my older brother's name.
And when did you get title to 240 Pollard?
When did we get titled, or when did we find out that we had title to it?
I guess both. I guess, when did you find out you had title to
We
it?
didn't find out till last January,
Okay.
when we wanted to borrow money against the house to continue to pay for her care because she was out of money.
Okay.
I went through everything in her checking account.
Okay. And I guess her insurance didn't pay?
Insurance don't pay for nursing homes,
Insurance doesn't pay for nursing homes.
Okay.
unfortunately.
Now, I
We're
guess,
not on the hard end.
do you have a power of attorney or?
I do,
Okay.
medical and business.
And when did your mom give you that?
Probably 4 years ago after she had a stroke.
And is that when she, I guess, gave y'all title to the property as well?
No, she did that back in, I think we found out back in the 70s, but she never told myself or my brother that she had done that.
Okay,
We did not find that out until we went to take out a loan against her house to pay for her medical care.
And that was last January.
Pardon?
Last January is when you found that out?
Yes.
Okay.
They did a title search and found out that the house was not in her name. It was in, she'd put it in my brother's name and my name.
Okay. And I guess that she reserved a life estate?
I guess that's how it works. I don't know. I'm not an expert on any of that. It's been a real learning experience.
What I'm getting at was, were you able to borrow money?
We were able to borrow money against the house, which there will be nothing left when it's all said and done.
Okay. Now, when your mom would come and stay with you, would she drive?
No, she hasn't driven since she had a stroke.
Okay. So, I get, she
I
had her
took
stroke.
her everywhere she went, doctor's appointments, anything she needed, I took her.
Okay. On the day of this accident, where was your mom?
She might have been down in Batesville for a short time at that time.
Okay, and who stayed with her
No
while
one.
she was in Batesville? She
No.
lived by herself?
She stayed by herself. She couldn't drive. She had, friends from church, take her places, go to the store for her, that type of thing.
As Wellbutrin, is that a anti-anxiety drug as well?
I'm not sure what category it's in.
Has your diagnosis changed at all?
I'm just, anxious, stressed.
Are you stressed today?
Would you be?
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't blame you if you were.
I don't think you realize I have really important things in life to deal with, as in people's health, as in planning funerals. I deal with, really life issues that are extremely important.
And that's why you take the anti-anxiety medication?
Correct. I'm the only voice they have left in life.
Okay.
They deserve the best care they can get until they pass from this earth. And I'm going to see that they get it.
Are there any other symptoms that you have as a result of your anxiety?
No.
Irritability, loss of sleep?
No, I sleep well because I'm so exhausted.
Okay.
And I planned on going back to work part-time after our daughter married, but becoming a caregiver is a full-time job. I go to the nursing home every day of my life.
And at the time of this accident, you were going to the nursing home to take care of your aunt?
They
right?
weren't. Let's see, I'm trying to think if she was in the nursing home then. She was. Yes, I did.
Okay, so that's your aunt. Now, your mom was not in the
My
nursing home?
mom was not there. I had my aunt there.
Okay.
I didn't go every day at that time. I went several times a week. And things were better when my aunt first went there. It was run better.
Okay. From the, I guess, the day of this accident until, I guess, today, as you sit here with me today, has your anxiety issues, have they gotten better or worse or stayed the same?
They've gotten worse. Because their health is declining.
Have you seen any other doctors for your anxiety problems?
Yeah, I have.
Who else have you seen?
I see Nanetta Walls from time to time.
Who?
Nanetta Walls.
Okay, and what is she? Is she a
She's a psychologist.
psychologist?
So we can work through taking care of two elderly people in a healthy way.
And how long have you been seeing Dr. Walls?
Since last January.
Okay, have you seen anyone else?
No, I mean, I see Dr. DiGattano so she can, take care of the medicine, but I don't see her for any type of counseling.
And Dr. DiGattano is what?
A psychiatrist.
And is that the doctor that's prescribing the Wellbutrin and the...
It's the Wellbutrin. She's not the one that put me on the other medicine.
What other medicine?
The medicine I used to take for anxiety.
Right, what is that?
Well, you got me so confused I can't remember.
Okay. And I'm not here to confuse you. I mean, if you want to take a break or... my notes, that you've got Wellbutrin and that you started that in December of last year.
No, I didn't start Wellbutrin in December last year. I started Wellbutrin in the spring.
Okay. Of '07?
Of '08.
Okay. So just here recently,
Yes.
you started that. Okay.
Yes.
And then, I guess, did you substitute your other anxiety medication for the Wellbutrin?
The Wellbutrin's taking the place of the other medicine.
Okay. And Dr.
Digatano.
just prescribes this.
She only does med checks.
Okay.
That's all she does. They work for the same group.
And what's the name of that group?
Chamberlain Clinic
Now, are they here in Germantown?
in Cordova.
Okay. Now, the psychiatrist that you're seeing, do they prescribe any other medication?
No. And she thinks I'm doing very well. I saw her last week.
And I guess, when did you start seeing Dr. Digatano?
It kind of goes hand in hand. They're going to put you on medication. You see a psychologist for counseling. You see a psychiatrist for med checks.
Okay. And
She does no counseling. All she does is handle the medication.
my question is, I guess, when was the first time you got any medication from Dr. Digatano?
I can't remember.
Do you remember if it was before or
Maybe,
after?
maybe in January when I started counseling.
Okay, and that was January of this year?
Mm-hmm.
You need to answer verbally.
Yes.
So January 2008, you started at the Chamberlain Clinic?
I've gone to the Chamberlain Clinic years ago to see a different doctor.
Okay, and who was that doctor?
Dr. Barbara Chamberlain.
And do you know when you saw Dr. Chamberlain?
No, it's been years ago.
And what did you see her for?
A panic anxiety disorder that I was diagnosed with when my mother-in-law was dying of rectal cancer.
When did your mother-in-law die of rectal cancer?
Oh, I think that was probably back in like '89 or '90.
Okay. And did Dr. Chamberlain diagnose you with the panic anxiety disorder?
She did.
Okay. And did she give you medication for
She
that?
did.
What did she prescribe?
I have no clue. I don't remember. It's been 10 years ago.
Okay. And did you make a recovery?
I did.
Okay. And how long did it take you to make a recovery?
I don't know, maybe a year. I have no panic anxiety attacks anymore though.
Okay. And what's the difference between the anxiety that you have now, just, I guess, the
I don't
general
have
diagnosis?
anxiety now. I have stress.
Okay.
Stress from taking care of elderly people.
Okay.
It's my mother.
Okay. You testified, though, at one time you were diagnosed with anxiety disorder, and that's what you were receiving the Wellbutrin for.
No.
Okay.
I take the Wellbutrin for stress.
Okay. So, it's your testimony.
To be able to cope with the day-to-day situation of taking care of two elderly sick people.
Okay. So, it's your testimony that Dr. Porter prescribed this medication for you, the anti-anxiety medication, for stress.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever seen any other psychologists or
No.
psychiatrists?
No.
Okay. Ever been diagnosed with any other, I guess, mental disorder?
No.
When was the last time you saw Dr. Chamberlain?
Dr. Chamberlain moved years ago to go back to Mayo to teach the medical school.
Okay.
And I cannot tell you how long she's been gone.
And I guess at that
It
point,
was her clinic. It's still called her clinic.
and then I guess you started with another, I guess, with Dr. Walls?
Yeah, I saw Dr. Walls.
Okay. But Dr. Walls is a psychologist, not a psychiatrist.
She's a psychologist.
Okay, so she can't, Dr. Digitano has to write the scripts?
Psychologist cannot prescribe medication. She's not an MD.
Okay, so you need Dr. Digitano to,
She just writes the prescription and checks and makes sure everything's going okay.
okay. And Dr. Chamberlain, I guess, started you on this medication in 1989, 1990?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know if that diagnosis has ever changed?
Panic anxiety disorder? Yes, it's changed. I don't have panic attacks anymore.
Okay. When was the last time you had a panic attack?
Probably about 8-9 years ago.
Okay. And were you still seeing Dr. Chamberlain at that time, or were you seeing one of the other doctors?
I think I'd stopped seeing her altogether. I learned to deal with it.
Okay. You were still on medication?
I was for a short time.
Okay. And is it the same medication that we've been
No.
talking about? Well, what
No.
were you on at that time?
I can't remember. Maybe Buspar. I don't know. It's been too long ago. It's been, let's see, 89. It's been almost 20 years ago.
And what is Buspar?
An anti-anxiety medication.
Okay. Now, besides Buspar, Wellbutrin, and then this other medication that you
Lexapro.
Lexapro. Have you been on any other anti-anxiety medications?
No, I have a prescription for Xanax if needed. I don't take it.
Okay.
I don't need it.
Who gave you the prescription for Xanax?
Dr. Digitano, in case I ever needed it. I don't take it.
Okay, what is Xanax?
I'm not exactly sure.
Well,
I guess if I got over the edge and got really stressed out, it would help relax me.
okay.
But I don't take it because I don't need it.
Okay. And do you have a prescription, I guess, for it as we sit here today?
I do if needed.
Okay. And you haven't, when was the last time you took a Xanax?
I don't know, months and months ago. Probably when my mother was in the hospital one time.
Okay, and what, you just took like one pill?
Right, to take the edge off. If you spent the hours and the time in the ER at Baptist East that I'd spend, I know all the ER doctors and all the ER nurses. So that kind of says, where am I spending all my time? In an emergency room.
I understand. I'd say in the last, I guess, have you had this prescription for Xanax for the last year?
I don't know if it's been a year or not, maybe so.
Okay. And say in the last year, how many times do you think you've had to take a Xanax?
4, maybe 5 in a year.
Do you ever not take your Wellbutrin or
Absolutely
the other?
not.
You take that
Of course I do.
every day?
That's what the doctors told me to do.
Do you have any prescriptions for any other drugs, like Xanax, that are, I guess, as
Absolutely
needed?
No.
Have you ever had a prescription for Valium or diazepam?
No.
What about a sleeping pill?
No. I sleep fine.
Ever had muscle relaxers?
Maybe I've had surgery or something like that, but no, not on a regular basis. I don't like medication.
Okay.
My things are situational. I take these to get through what I'm dealing with at the moment. I don't like medicines.
And you don't like feeling groggy, or is it?
Doesn't make me feel groggy.
Okay.
It takes the edge off of the stress that I deal with elderly sick people.
Take a break. Just a second.